a well-known rich person who loses it all and ends up homeless. From professional athletes to child stars, these rich and famous individuals all suffered terrible downfalls. Speaking of being careful, let's make sure you're extra covered by not only hitting that subscribe button, but activating those notifications, too. Then he got involved with drugs. Unemployment and drugs ate up all of his money, and the former child star actually spent a period living in a car behind Grauman's Chinese Theater in Hollywood. There he lived for a period of the late 70s and early 80s. If you watched a lot of TV in the 90s, then you lived out of LA. Butler fell off the face of the earth for several years, and nobody knew where she was. Apparently, she had moved to a farm in Georgia, yet it was later learned that she ran out of money and was actually living in a homeless shelter. That's right, the one-time star of a hit show, but the Hollywood money's all gone. He's been arrested for failing to pay bills, and even had a run-in with the law for squatting in a house that he didn't own. To take problems to a whole other level, you could say that Quaid didn't just get through a homeless phase, but he also went through a period where he had no country. And this former NBAer filed for bankruptcy. It cost him his family and his home. Even his NBA pension couldn't help after it was lost in a scam. By 2010, he was living in his car and surviving off donations and any work he could pick up. Nothing materialized, and Driscoll spent the last several months of his life homeless and living on the street. When kids found his body in 1968, he had been living in an abandoned apartment building. But those millions of dollars in the bank account started to vanish quickly. As it turns out, cars, jewelry, and fur coats cost quite a bit of cash. In no time, the money was gone, and this champion boxer was out on the street. In the early days, Barkley spent most of his time sleeping on the subway because there was nowhere to go, and hit rock bottom when she showed up at a New York hospital in really bad shape. She admitted herself with a fake name, suffering from hepatitis C, a heart infection, and a collapsed lung. Reportedly, she also had many track marks on her arms from drug use. Having been living on the street, penniless and without a home, this one-time TV star was left sleeping under bushes or inside parking garages when he couldn't find anyone willing to take him in. So, do you know the answer? Nearly bankruptcy in the United States. Bankrupt.